Hello, welcome to the last lecture of this course. In this lecture, we will study about Google Cloud Messaging. Google Cloud Messaging for Android is a service that helps developers send data from the server to their Android application on Android devices. Using this service, you can send data to your application whenever new data is available instead of making requests to the server in timely fashion. The image depicts the working of Google Cloud Messaging services. First, the Android device sends sender ID and the application ID to the GCM server for registration. Then, upon successful registration, GCM server issues a registration ID to that Android device. After receiving the registration ID, device will send the registration ID to our own server, where we will save this registration ID for future purposes. Once the registration is complete, whenever push notification is needed on our application on different mobile devices, our server will send a message to GCM server along with device registration ID which is stored in our databases. GCM server will deliver that message to respected mobile device using the device registration ID. Let us create an application that will incorporate GCM services and will receive push notifications. To create a GCM mod, one needs to have a server space which saves registration ID of each Android mobile device sent to the server by our application on that device. For practice, I have created one PHP server on this model which you can access anytime using this URL. This URL takes two inputs. One is the registration ID given to the app by Android GCM server, and the other is a custom unique user ID which we can generate using random number. To register to Google GCM services, one need to create an account in Google API console and generate a configuration file for application. It will also generate a server key that will let your server be identified at the GCM server when it sends a push notification to the GCM server. To do that, log on to the URL specified on the slide and follow the registration process step by step, like this. Here, give the app name of the application you want to create and the package name of that application. Then, generate the configuration file. Select the services you want to associate to this app and press Next. The Google will provide you a server API and a Google Services JSON file. This file acts as the configuration for your application to make registration at the Google Cloud Messaging server. And this server API key let your server send push notification to the GCM servers. Hence, add this server key to your server and download this configuration file and add it to your application code like this. To create a GCM enabled project, we need to follow these steps. First, download Google Play services from the Android SDK Manager. Then, add that Google Services.json in your application in app folder like this. Then in your module app Gradle file, add these two lines. And in the project Gradle file, add this class path. Then we need to create three services. The first service we will create is a GCM listener service. It receives the push notification from the GCM server. Hence, on any message received, we will create a notification informing user about new message received. In this, we will override on message received function. Here, we will create a notification which will inform user about the new message we received from the server. Whenever our server sends notification to the GCM server, it sends its message in the key message. Hence, we retrieve that message using the getString API in the bundle, which act as the data sent from the GCM server. There could be other messages lying under different keys depending upon the data sent by your server to the GCM server. We create an intent which will be opened when the user clicks at our notification. Hence, we also need to create a pending intent. The next service is the registration service that registers to GCM server with our application ID and sender ID obtained from the Google services.json file. On successful registration, obtain the registration ID from the GCM server. Once the registration ID, or also known as token, is successfully received from the GCM server, we will submit that registration ID to our server for later use. Now let us create a async task that will register this token to the server created by us. The next service is the Instant ID Listener service, which let us refresh the registration ID of our server in case the GCM server has changed the token for this mobile device. For that, we need to initiate our registration service we just created again. Here we will override on token refresh function and we will start our registration service. The next step is to add permissions and the intent filters for the services so that it can receive the push notifications from the Android system. We will add these permissions in our application which will let us access internet, the network state, and a permission to receive push notification from the GCM server. Also, we will add information about the services we created with the appropriate intent filters which will let these services to be called automatically whenever Android do a GCM service related task. Hence, in GCM listener we add intent filter of receive, and for the service instant ID listener service we add the intent filter for the instance ID. We will also add a GCM receiver which will help us our application to receive any messages related to push notification for the application ID in .simplifylearning.simplifypractice GCM. This is also the package ID, or you can say the ID by which the push notification will work for this application and the server we create. The last step is to check if the Google Play services are available on that mobile device. Then register to GCM server by starting the GCM register service. This completes our application. Now let us run this application and see if we are able to receive the notification from our server. I have installed the application we made on this device. Now let us push notification on it by using this HTML page. You can find this HTML page attached in the source code zip file. You can see as soon as I press the send button, the push notification request was sent to my server and forwarded to the GCM server, which redirected that notification on our device, and here we can see there is a notification on the phone. If you check it out, it will be the notification displaying the message we just typed in. This brings to the end of this course. I hope you enjoy learning Android development course and would create some great applications. Please let us know how you find this course by reviewing it on unanth.com. In case you have any doubts or queries regarding the course or the topics taught in this course, feel free to drop a mail to us at info@simplifylearning.in. Thank you.